horse or not to horse? That is the question. And 69% of you want us to horse. It might be a bad idea, but... Hans, you can do it, horse. Get in there and teach Pig a lesson. Horse nodded towards me. Does Pig have the epic booby traps? And just like that, Horse slammed into the door. Chain lock held, but with just a single shove, it was clear Horse would be able to break in soon enough. I sort of expected him to keep slamming into it like he just did. But after the first strike, he changed course. He began kicking at the door's hinges with the might of a sledgehammer. Before long, the castle's gate was open. Without a second thought, Horse stormed in. Uh-oh. He didn't wait long to question why the room was suddenly filled with some sort of fog. Fog that was continuing to fill up the room, actually. Was there a fog machine in here? No, it wasn't quite fog. It wasn't quite that dense. Luckily for me, I was observing this with a bit of distance. For Horse, who had run straight into the thick of things, he felt the effects of the substance almost immediately. Uh-oh. His entire form began to sag. He tried to walk around the center desk, but stumbled. Oh, Pig was good with chemistry. He tried to turn around, but tripped on himself. Once he was on the floor, he struggled to pick himself back up. With Horse out of the way, I could finally see the source of the gas. It was coming out in a high density from a beaker sitting on the table in the middle of the room. Did Pig set this up? There were a lot of chemicals in the lab back up on the 3rd floor, but still. I knew she wanted to be a chemist or something, but to create something like this was ridiculous. And yet I didn't know what other explanation there could be for the sight. Flashbang! That was all I could think about before the flash. In an instant, something incredibly bright flashed from the room, and I lost my vision. Was that a fucking flashbang? Did Pig create a flashbang? I rubbed my eyes, trying to recover. By the time I regained my vision, I caught the tail end of Pig, who had apparently pushed away through the doorway, and was now sprinting down the hallway. Immediately, I began to run after her. I wasn't the closest to her, though. Dragon had already begun her pursuit, and Bunny was already pulling ahead of me to my side. At this rate, it was inevitable that Pig would be captured and brought to justice. But if she thought her escape route was this far ahead, shouldn't she be expecting this? As if to answer my own thought, Pig immediately turned around in mid-run and threw 2 things at once. A bucket, which she had apparently been carrying with her by her chest as she ran, which was filled with a tar-black substance, and a vial of something else. I don't know exactly what it all was, but what I do know is that the bucket spilled all the way over the floor, and as soon as the vial crashed down onto it, a burst of flames lit up the hallway. Oh fuck! Luckily enough, Bunny and I were far enough back to stay out of the range of this sudden inferno, Dragon. Oh no. Dragon, on the other hand, had kept her mind on a single track and ran into the liquid right as it lit on fire. As the flames came up, she cried out. I expected Pig to use this distraction to turn back around and continue fleeing. Instead, she ran forwards and slammed into Dragon while grabbing a hold of her tablet. Whoa! The result, Pig was able to flee the fire with Dragon's tablet in her hands. Jesus, girl! I even heard her shout something. I'm sorry! Noted, Pig. Dragon, on the other hand, stumbled back and fell onto the fiery floor. We had to act immediately. Bunny looked at the situation and after a brief pause, tried to scooch around the fire to keep after Pig. For my part, I risked the flames and tried to pull Dragon out of the fire. Unfortunately, Dragon had gotten some of the black substance on her clothes and it continued to burn. I pulled off Dragon's jacket and jeans in an effort to stop it. At this point, the others had caught up with me. Sheep and Snake both helped the efforts to save Dragon. When all was said and done, she was badly burned, but not dead. Not dead yet. However, we have to find Pig, fast. We don't even have the luxury to discuss a strategy. Everyone immediately split up and looked for her. Fortunately for us, Dragon's tablet was our only way of trying to stop Pig, so we need to capture her. Hey now, that's not right. Since Dragon used her dragon breath last turn, shouldn't Monkey have access to it? You're right. Oh, look at that. I can stumble into being useful every now and then. Okay, Monkey, you dragon breath the lane right before the finish line. The rest of us need to split up and search for Pig. Pronto. And like that, we broke off. We were in a panicked state, hurriedly searching all over the school trying to find her. I found a row of classrooms and decided to check them out one by one. Mistake. As soon as I grabbed a hold of the handle, it was over. I honestly can't describe what happened next. Just that, in a mere few seconds, I would be lying on the floor, dead. But that was a blessing in disguise. Because had I searched elsewhere, I would eventually meet a much bloodier fate. I got to pass on peacefully. Lucky me. Well, that was abrupt. Don't underestimate prep time. Say what you will, Pig actually has an incredibly creative mind and a lot of knowledge. Tempo on her side, she's able to devise a plethora of tricks. Following in her pace is a recipe for failure. Oh wow, we missed an ending. Interesting. I think the obvious next choice is not to Hans. Hold on, Horace. Let's think about this. What's there to think about? Barging in there could be dangerous, and it isn't necessary. It isn't. Why would it be? She's out of options and we can escape without her. Let's just take it calm, step back, and think about the situation rationally. Horace stared at me for a few seconds. Then with a sigh, he took a few steps away from the door. Okay, cool. Let's just think about this for a bit. Mouse is right. Thinking about it rationally, there's not an immense rush. The confession took us off guard, granted, but it's a one-time use thing. Now, she truly only has one option. We can definitely get her with the dragon breath. Just then, through the door, Pig shouted out. 8667! Monkey, if you want to end this, input that. God damn it! What? In an instant, Dragon covered Monkey's ears and tried to bring her away from the door, before Pig could say anything more. Unfortunately, the damage had already been done. Did you hear the numbers Pig said? Unfortunately, I did. Ah, well then, that is truly a shame. I believe we must kill her at this point. What? Snake, how could you say something like that? You're really just gonna kill one of us like that? It is the only way to guarantee that Pig gets hit by the dragon breath next turn. Any other method is imprecise. So you're suggesting we commit murder? Snake has a point. I mean, since Monkey is going to be executed anyways. Sheep, you too? I mean, from Snake it's one thing, but you? I understand the impulse some of you may have after hearing Pig's outburst just now. The threat of imminent death clouds minds. How about we all take a moment to breathe in and breathe out? That's better. Now then, let us explore the facts, shall we? Right now you are feeling scared, and that's okay. Fear is tempting you to make actions you otherwise would not. However, I would implore you to think about this logically. Have I not already proved myself to be on the side of the group's survival? What reason would I have to go along with Pig's absurd request? And we can never really know for sure if you're on our side. People lie. People lie all the time. It is true, people lie. But Sheep, don't people lie for a reason? What reason would I have to lie? So you could survive! Nobody could. Nobody could accept death just like this. At least not somebody like you. You are right, Sheep. Death is not something we can accept easily. Even now, fear still gnaws at me. The fact that I am able to face my fate with my head held high is an exception, not the standard. You're just saying that. Okay, let's recount the facts. By simply inputting the code Pig yelled out, I would not be able to escape death. Rather, I would be moved forwards, taking me out of the last place position I would need to secure my own safety. The only person I would help by inputting the code is Pig. Be killing not only the group, but myself by going along with her request. That's a really good point. So you see, there is no possible way I would take that action. Sure, you wouldn't input that code. But your ability had let you use Rooster's encouraging crow, right? Ah, dog with metaplay. With that, you could just send Pig to the finish line without moving yourself. That is true, I suppose. However, I have no intention of doing so. I promise I shall input what you wish when I use my tablet. Ah, but that's the trick of the matter, isn't it? We have no way of verifying that until it may be too late. And to be honest, Monkey, I can't say I buy your little suicidal act here. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't think someone could be down to take a dive. Lord knows I would be. But last round you confessed to nothing, right? Only reason I can figure for you doing something like that would be if you wanted to be last when Pig finished first. At the very least, a thought like that must have been in the back of your mind. Is that the action that Pig input on her tablet? Or is that the action that Pig helped her enter? By us sending Pig to help her instead of going ourselves? That'd be a hell of a thing. Monkey looked around the room, gauging each of our expressions. Then with a heavy sigh, she simply shrugged her shoulders. To argue more, however, by merely looking at you all, I can tell that it is decided. Very well then, do what needs to be done. Hold on, everybody, are you serious about this? No, she could seriously just be accepting this, could she? You know she's going to die anyway, to kill her ourselves. That's horrible. We can't do this. Mouse, please. It's better this way. No, but this is wrong, isn't it? Is it? If it ensures the group's survival, I don't think so. So anything's cool if it helps the most people? Mouse, your resistance to this shows me that you haven't accepted that fact that, one way or another, I am going to die here. I am. So please, resign yourself. I knew Monkey was right. I felt tears begin to water in my eyes, so to save myself further embarrassment, I took a seat and recused myself from the conversation. Still, played out to the side. They began to argue over who needed to carry out the deed. I hope you realize you're asking somebody to murder you, Monkey. I am aware. Was this not the group's will? If I proposed it, I may have an obligation to handle things myself. No, I can do it. Are you sure? If I must. You weak asses should just stand back. Got experience with violence, so I can handle things. Have you killed before? No, but I've gotten pretty damn close. How hard can it be? Incredibly hard. Snake the Army Man? If we're talking about who's best equipped for this sort of thing, I am a cop. Irony! Oh, the fucking irony there. I'm always prepared to make a shot if I need in the line of duty. Oh, I bet you're just itching for an excuse to make the shot. Dragon gets it. Everyone, silence. I'll kill Monkey. Rooster? Rooster, you're an actor, right? I am. It's exactly why I need to do this. I'm afraid I don't follow. Actually murdering someone with my own hands. That's something I can tap into in the future. If I do this, I can become the greatest dramatic actor the world has ever known. This is exactly what I've been missing. This is what will bring me over the top. Rooster, I really don't know if this is the sort of thing you want to be able to tap into. Ox, I insist. Let me do this. Normally I'd call Rooster a buffoon, but after seeing Rooster's route, I wonder what he's up to. What do you got planned, son? I can do it. After a brief silence, it appeared nobody would contest him. Very well, Rooster. You will do the deed. the sake of everybody here, I would ask that I be killed in a separate room. Why's that? I can say with a fair amount of certainty that seeing my dead body would be incredibly scarring. Be for the best that we shield this sight of death from as many people as possible. All right, Monkey, you just come with me to a nearby classroom and we'll get the job done. Hold on, I don't know how much I'd like just the two of you being there when we kill you. Seems suspicious. Very well then, Bunny. You can come along as well. Me? As you said, you are a cop. You likely will suffer the least mental damage from watching things unfold. All right, if it'll help. Like that, Bunny and Rooster walked over to a nearby classroom and shut the door. 2 or 3 minutes just passed in silence. Then Rooster exited the room. Instead of addressing us, he walked by us, moving to the cafeteria. Grabbed the kitchen knife, then returned to the classroom. As he passed by, I saw his face. Didn't look good. Not that I was one to talk. I could only imagine how sick I'd look to the others. Right after that, Bunny and Rooster exited the room. Both looked shooken up. Still, Ox went down to business. So? It's handled? Yeah, she's as dead as a doorknob. Here's the proof. Bunny held up a tablet. However, when he turned it on, it became clear the tablet didn't belong to him. It was Monkey's. He clicked on the information button and the screen changed accordingly. It talked about Monkey's ability. Monkey see, Monkey do. And it showed Monkey's personality written in big green letters. Content. She really was doomed from the start. That personality, and her personality, she never had a chance to live. I silently cursed Brian with all my might. Damn him for putting all of us through this. Putting such a kind woman through this. A woman dedicated to helping others. Damn him to hell. If I escaped this place. But no, I couldn't think about that now. Now I needed to move forwards. So whether or not Pig uses a trinket, she's truly trapped next round. That gives us 3 rounds where she'll be unable to move. After that, she can move 1 space again, but again we can Dragon Breath that area. Essentially, if we're smart about this, we can lock her out of the entire game. What a shame that she simply held off on racing ahead for 1 turn more. She'd have had a real shot at escaping. As it stands, she's entirely out of options. Wasting 6 turns with being burned is simply a penalty she just cannot afford. You would have thought she'd have thunk things through a little better, huh? Yeah, but that's what fear will do to you. The question now is not whether or not Pig will finish in time. It's whether all 10 of us can finish together. To answer that, we need to take stock of our current trinket count. Everybody, place the trinkets you have here. People complied. In the end, a very small pile was formed. 5. Really? Man, we suck. Well, perhaps if we had split up, we'd have been able to find more. Technically, we found 7, but Mouse let Pig take 2. Thanks for that, Mouse. Are we seriously still on that? Yes, let's move on to more relevant matters. Naturally, we're going to need more than just these 3, if we want to get out together. I thought about what Ox said just for a moment. I remember the state of the board. I remember the 5 rounds we had left. Did we need more trinkets? Was it possible to get all 10 of us to the end on the same turn with what we just had? What to say? Ooh. This feels like an ending split. Ox is right. Yeah, at the very least, we need a few more. We have a selection of abilities that can move us forward if we plan it right. And we have Mouse's Sneaky Ride, which essentially takes the place of a trinket use. It essentially takes Mouse out of contention for needing a trinket in the first place. We don't have a ton of time to spare, though. We'll just have to work fast. And there's no more threats, we can split up, search the school, and find what we missed. Is it okay to leave Pig alone? Sheep's right. We need at least a guard on Pig. She might be trapped, but a major trinket could turn things around. I'll stay here. Make sure she doesn't try anything shifty. If it's alright with everyone, I think I'll stay here too. Tch, think I can't handle it? Of course not. I think it'd just be better to have at least 2 guards. And can I get someone I can actually stand? I think our differences actually make us suited to work together. Oh, really? I'm just gonna nip this in the bud now. Dragon, Bunny, you two stay here and make sure Pig doesn't try anything. Everyone else can split up and search for minor trinkets. Everyone nodded. It was a solid plan. Likely to work. Try to reconvene here with some time before the round ends. That way we can coordinate our moves based on how many trinkets we have. And like that, we began to search the school. For my part, I looked around pretty hard. Went through a number of classrooms in the language hall on the 2nd floor. Actually did come across one safe, but once I solved the puzzle to open it, it wasn't a minor trinket, but a useless major trinket, only good for killing. The knife. And now was around when we needed to return, regroup. What a waste of time. I'm disappointed with myself, but well, what could you do? There was still plenty of time to search, and everyone was on the same page. Things had definitely gotten hectic, had gotten dark, but finally it was in fact checkmate. Uh-oh. However, as I walked back to the cafeteria to meet with everybody and discuss what our moves for this round should be, I noticed something very troubling. By the door guarding Pig, Dragon was gone, and Bunny looked in a bad state. Bunny! Are you okay? What happened? Fine. I'm fine. We shouldn't have underestimated Pig. What do you mean? Did she do this? 2 guards close to the door. It wasn't enough. We were caught off guard and she threw something out the door. I don't know what, but all I know is that it blinded Dragon and I. Next thing I know, I feel myself being shoved, and by the time my vision recovers, Pig is running down the hallway, holding a tablet. Holding a tablet? You know how I was holding on to Monkey's tablet. Oh no. This couldn't be happening, could it? Oh yes. I tried to chase after her, but she managed to set off a fire in the hallway that blocked us off. She started a fire? Oh, look at me. Anyways, Dragon is still searching for her. It may be too late, but... Instantly, I understood. Alright, I'll help look. Bunny nodded at me, and I ran over to the nearest staircase. There wasn't much time left, and it was likely that Pig had already made her move. Still, I couldn't just sit back and die. What the hell were Dragon and Bunny doing so that Pig could get the upper hand on them? No, I couldn't think like that. After all, it was my fault for not insisting on more guards. I mean, if we had 10 people at our disposal, surely we could have spared 3 or 4 and spread them out across the area. That would have been better. What happened? We were cocky. We assumed it was the end of the line for Pig. In my final desperate moments, rushing around the school, I was reminded of my father. On more than one occasion, I had a decent peace lead on him. I felt confident that I would finally beat him. In every one of those situations, he would end up pulling a comeback through a bizarre checkmate I didn't see. A checkmate I didn't think possible. That's what this was, an unexpected checkmate. My father was an opponent I never ended up beating. Now I never could. Before, when I had that thought, it was because he was dead. However, for the first time, there was another reason why I could say that with confidence. When the round ended, I was in an empty hallway, still searching. I heard the announcement play on the speakers. The finish line has been crossed. Winner is Pig. Congratulations. Anyone who has not won has lost. Prepare for execution. Yeah, that's what I thought. Monkey's monkey see, monkey do ability was powerful, as was Rooster's encouraging crow. These two together made for a powerful combination. If we had used Monkey's tablet earlier, I'd made a movement plan for this round ahead of time. None of this would have happened. But oh well. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Should have viewed Pig as a greater threat. Would have liked to give her a solid punch before I died. Could have prevented myself from being executed if I had just hitched a ride on her every turn. And like that, the collar went to work and I collapsed on the floor. A painful minute or two later, I was completely dead. Appear strong when you are weak, and weak when you are strong. Random Sun Tzu quote, just to think about. On a completely separate note, Pig's lead makes her dangerous. All she needs is a single round where she can find an edge, and it's game over. Victory to be certain, she must be completely out of options. And yep. It's simple enough. I think our next course of action... Ox is wrong. Hold on. Huh? Actually, I don't think we need to spread ourselves thin like that. We can succeed with what we have here. Explain. Okay, so look at this. Walked over the television screen and used it to illustrate my reasoning. In round 8, I'll hitch a ride on Ox. He'll stampede again. Tiger and Bunny will just run for now. Dragon has to stay still and breathe and fire breathe again. Snake will just run. Horse gallops 3 spaces again. Sheep will use all 3 of her actions to sweet sleep, which should give her a total of 7 actions next turn. I can do that? Nothing says you can't. Rooster will use Encouraging Crow on Snake. Then we can use Monkey's tablet to Encouraging Crow Rooster. But Monkey's dead. Yeah, that doesn't mean her tablet doesn't work. Dog will just run once. And Pig will get burned. Next, let's look at round 9. Ox and I can simply run 1 space each. Tiger, Bunny, Dragon, and Snake will all use minor trinkets, moving 4 spaces each. Horse will run 3 spaces. Sheep uses all 7 of her actions to sweet sleep, giving her a total of 15 actions next turn. Whoa! Yeah, Sheep's power is really useful. Rooster uses his Encouraging Crow on the person furthest behind up top, that is, Bunny. Then we boost Rooster another 4 spaces by copying Encouraging Crow with Monkey. At this point, the closest person in front of Dog would be Tiger, 7 spaces away. So using his Rapid Leap, he can move all the way up to where Ox and I will be. Pig is burned. So far, so good. Round 10. Ox and I run. Tiger, Bunny, Dragon, and Snake each use the minor trinket. Each move 4 spaces. Horse gallops 3 spaces. This is coming together nicely. Jesus Christ, Sheep. Sheep uses all 15 of her actions to sweet sleep, giving her a total of 31 actions next turn. This seems a little much. Rooster uses Encouraging Crow on Tiger, moving her 4 spaces closer. She just charges her... rams her fucking engines for 3 rounds and then just turbo boosts all the way to the finish line. Monkey uses it on Rooster, moving him 4 spaces closer. Dog just runs. Pig is burned. This is where things get tricky. Not really, we just need to be coordinated and trust one another. Which we now can. Ox, Tiger, Bunny, Snake, Dog, and I all run 1 space. Dragon, Horse, and Rooster all use minor trinkets to move 3 spaces closer. Sheep gets 63 actions for next... Jesus Christ. Monkey, to make sure Encouraging Crow is still available to copy with Monkey See, Monkey Do, uses it on Sheep. Is that allowed? I remember the wording Brian used. It should allow it. And Pig is still burned. Finally, we come to round 12, our last round. Ox and I run to the finish line. Tiger, Bunny, Dragon, Snake all use minor trinkets. All go to the finish line. Horse gallops safely into the finish line. Sheep uses all 63 of her actions. Yes. Oh, fuck. Fuck, dude. She uses all 63 of her actions to fucking zoom in right into the finish line in a speed of light. Doesn't matter what Rooster does. Matters is that Monkey uses encouraging crow and sends Rooster to the finish line. Dog rushes to the finish line. I'm about to do what's called a pro gamer move. Charges for 3 rounds and uses 63 fucking actions to zoom to the finish line. Power move. Yes. Holy shit. And from there, Pig can do whatever she wants. 10 people have already tied for first. That can't be undone. Whoa. So you're saying... I'm saying we've already won. I've identified the traitors, so there's no reason to distrust anyone in the group. We have everything we need right here, so we can all stay in the cafeteria, taking turns to input in the restroom or something. Pig, the alive threat, is trapped in that room over there, with no recourse. She'd have to take on all of us to try and escape, which isn't happening. We could all make it to the end exactly within the time limit. This is game, set, and match. Everyone looked nervously toward each other. Nobody wanted to believe something so miraculous could be true, but it was. There was no need for some grand climax, some tense finale. We just needed to follow a simple set of orders, and all 10 of us would make it out alive. We'd beat Brian's twisted game. Well, I think we owe a hand to Mouse for helping us sort that out. Oh, me? There's no trouble at all, just logistics sorting is all. Yes, it was very impressive. Everything in it tracked. I think we can just stay here and do that. And just stay here and do what we did. It's an odd, ominous feeling. In theory, we had already won. There shouldn't be any reason this wouldn't work, just work and let us escape. No one would exactly be celebrating until we were actually out of this demonic building. Instead, we all just sort of stood around in an odd silence. We kept an eye on Pig's door and made small talk, but that was mostly it. Everyone seemed to follow the plan to a T. Round 9, round 10. Time passed without any danger popping up. My mind wandered to strange places. Despite what had been said, what had been shown, I wanted to see Monkey's dead body for myself. I wanted to confirm it was real. Ultimately, what to do? Oh. At this point, it feels like we're already on the road to the ending. Like, if we leave, we might get railroaded into the Pig escapes ending. Why not? Curiosity got the best of me. I strolled over to the classroom where the deed was done and suddenly peered in. I don't know what I was expecting. I saw Monkey lying face first in a puddle of her blood. There was a bit by her neck, but a lot more by her stomach. As soon as I had gotten a clean look enough, I immediately walked away and shook my head. Why did I want to look at that? What perverse impulse had driven me to do such a thing? Thank God it hadn't been a more gruesome scene. Curiosity more than sated, I moved away from the body. Time passed without a threat. Then I thought I heard some noise coming from the room Pig was occupied in. Buddy and I, who were both nearby, went to check it out. As soon as I looked in, I realized something was wrong. Pig had collapsed on the floor and was spasming, gripping at her throat. Don't be fooled. Soon enough, she stopped moving at all. I also noticed that the bike chain was no longer locked. Don't do it. Without thinking about it, Bunny immediately went to enter the room. I wanted to stop him, but he didn't give me the opportunity. So instead, I just followed him in. I wasn't sure what I was looking at. The glass bottle filled with something had broken right by Pig's body. Her neck was badly burned from some sort of chemical. Oh, she's trying to get it off. Oh, she's trying to get the necklace off at but herself, using chemistry. That's fucking acid. Jesus. Disgusting to look at. What had happened? Then my attention turned to a nearby desk. A note had been placed on it, a note with a lot of writing on it. As soon as I looked at it closer, I realized Pig had written it. Was this a will of some kind? Did Pig do this to herself? I began to read it, and Bunny looked over my shoulder. To whomever ends up reading this, if you're currently reading through this note, that means that I'm dead. It's scary to think about. Really hoping that it doesn't come to this. Thinking about things realistically, I really have to accept that possibility. Currently, I'm out of options. I'm going to be executed. Even to the end, I'm not just going to accept dying. With the chemicals I've brought, I've tried to create something that'll burn through the collar around my neck. I'm careful with it. Maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to get this off my neck. I guess that didn't work, huh? Since I'm now dead, I guess this acts something like a will. Whoa, that's kind of weird. Usually only get this sort of talk in TV shows and movies. Never thought there'd be an applicable use for that sort of preface, especially one in my life. It's a bright side to dying. I get to go out in a cool way. Anyways, I've got a lot of explaining to do, I feel. I don't even know where to begin. I've written so many articles it's gotten to the point that writing is second nature to me. Words sort of effortlessly spring out without me having to even think about it. I've gotten the structure down so well I wouldn't even have to think about it. And here, perhaps the most important thing I'll ever write, I'm struggling to think of what to write. It's funny. It's not even true. I'm not struggling. I'm rambling. Which is even worse in a way. I take a second draft at this. I don't think I have that sort of time. This is just going to be stream of consciousness. I haven't lived a great life. It's not something I have trouble admitting. I mean, I've kind of known this about myself for the longest time. Just never really stopped to face it. That is until I had to make sure I got that 5-space movement out in the confession. Perhaps that's why Brian put that mechanic in. Everything I said there was true, by the way. I have both remorse and excuses. The time I really needed to make ends meet. I'd only just begun living on my own, and up to this point, what I was doing wasn't sustainable. My parents didn't support my ambitions in the slightest. The rest was habitually late. Rent. So when I was offered this proverbial deal with the devil, well, horrid as it may be, I accepted it without much of a second thought. And if not me, others would be contracted for this. The fact of the matter is, nowadays there's countless people holding onto these spider threads. Only one of them desperate to move even slightly higher. Once he gone one, and the supply is so much bigger than the demand, prices fall to the floor. People will fight for scraps. The deal I got was more than scraps. Properly compensated, given tons of connections. My public evisceration of Aaron Morris gave me the life I have today. Aaron Morris wasn't the last person I took down. It's not like I've been approached with a deal like that ever since. It's just a simple fact of life. People are just waiting for others to fall. If you treat life like a zero-sum game, as most do, anyone else falling lifts you up, at least somewhat. Morose Schadenfreude. In my constant drive of going forwards, growing bigger, I didn't even stop to consider what I was doing. Yes, I always thought I'd stop to think about what I really wanted, what I should really be doing later, when I had control of my life. Before I could even blink, now at the end of it. The truth I've learned too far too late is that my thinking was flawed. Really, you always have control of your life. You make decisions every minute of every day. That is control. What else would you call it? Waiting for a good time to stop and make a conscious decision of how to direct your life is a luxury we don't get to have. Because there's one time when we don't have control. When we're dead. And I could really write a really good article with that as the thesis now. People love that self-help crap. Really hope this note never gets read. But it currently is, isn't it? The other thing I want to do now is apologize for my actions. Wasn't ready to accept my death. It's as simple as that. Initially, I wasn't sure what to do. I might have just done nothing until it was too late. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that wasn't right. If I'd just finished first, I could keep on moving forwards. Who cares about what happened before that? The chaos and darkness of this race will erase what happens here. The truth will be written by the survivors. Literally, in her case. For all the cops care, Brian decided to execute you for any number of reasons. It's that flawed reasoning that infected my brain, that drove me to this point. Only after being trapped in this room do I realize just how horrible I've become. But in this note I have a final request. Probably just gonna crumple it up, but I'll give it a shot. Don't tell anyone what I did here. Just say I also gave myself up, and I also let myself be killed. Give me an honorable death. I don't want my legacy to be a failed coward dying alone in a room by her own failed escape attempt. I had a pathetic enough life. I just want a better death. But that's too big an ask, isn't it? Oh well. Once again, I'm sorry. I really, really, really am sorry. For that, there was a brief PS which caught my eye, but other than that, not much else. I stood there, unsure of what exactly to do. What I should do. What I even could do. This was the last testament of Pig, a person just like any one of us. She'd written this right before trying something stupid, something that ended up getting her killed. And now? What do you do? Oh, wow. There's a lot of choices on this path, then. Seems to be leading us to the final ending of her round. Tear it up. I gripped the note in my hand and tore it to pieces. Whoa, Mouse! What are you doing? There was nothing of value written in here anyways. Just some final words dripped in desperation. Okay then. You say so. Pig tried to kill all of us. She selfishly prioritized her own survival over every single other person's. And now she has the gall to ask me to try and cover that up? In this instance, she does deserve some sympathy. Although, ironic that earlier in this route we were having a conversation with her about sympathizing with people who do horrible things. And she was on the exact opposite side of the coin that she's now begging for. No way, no way was I going to allow that bullshit to happen. Truth wouldn't bow down to Pig's selfish desire to shirk responsibility. When we get out of here, we're going to speak nothing but the truth. How Monkey gave herself for the sake of the group. How Pig refused to. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Does the full truth really matter that much? Are you seriously asking me if the truth matters? I'm just saying, in this case, it shouldn't really matter too much. I mean, I'm a cop, so I know a little bit about the truth not mattering. The truth here might hurt more than it helps. It's not like it was Pig's choice to get put in this situation. I get it sucks, okay? I understand that much. Doesn't mean I'm gonna cover for her. Alright, totally understand you. There was no note. And so I stuffed the ripped pieces in my pocket. That truth got erased so the real one would shine through. Went to the others and told them what happened, sans the bit about the note. It wasn't exactly a celebratory reception, but it definitely wasn't an unhappy one either. At this point, all the obstacles had been overcome. We had won. Time passed. We stuck to the plan. No need to deviate, no traitors or complications, just following simple rules. Eventually, it was near the end of the final round. I stood in the corner of the cafeteria, thoughts bouncing in my head. There was a lot to think about. Thinking didn't pause time. The round ended, and the race board updated. To be honest, I couldn't even bear to look at the accursed thing. From the start, it's been far more trouble than it's worth. All that mattered was the announcement that came next. The finish line has been crossed. Winners are rat, ox, tiger, bunny, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, rooster, dog. Congratulations. Anyone who has not won has lost. Prepare for execution. Those last words were a non-threat. After all, the only people who hadn't won were already dead. Just then the collar came undone. We were free. Breathed a huge sigh of relief. However, right before I could fully celebrate, a voice came on that stopped my heart. Congratulations, contestants. You've achieved a peaceful ending. I didn't have to execute anyone. You lucked out. The affected personalities were the two suicidal idiots willing to take one for the team. Brian. I don't know what game you were watching, jackass, but I wouldn't call Pig suicidal. She ended up killing herself, did she not? Ah, but I suppose that is aside from the point. I can't say I am overly pleased with this outcome. Two of the lighter criminals are dead. Don't get me wrong, they both deserved it. One perverted justice, the other refused to see the truth. Pig and monkey, respectively? But still, I can't help but feel the larger criminals got away. If you wished to kill us, you could have done so. Yeah, not satisfied you didn't get to appease your murder boner, you little shit? Talking a lot of shit because things didn't work out how you planned? Do not misunderstand me. This is an intended outcome of the race. Everyone was given the chance to face justice for their sins. Sometimes you roll extremely lucky. We weren't lucky, I don't think. We just beat your game. You all seem awfully cocky for a group who lost two of their members. We had to lose at least two people. It was your dumb rules. Blind men truly are jesters to those who can't see. Now then, until we meet again. Just like that, the voice went away. The bent of superiority in Brian's voice as he left us pissed me off to no end, but I couldn't dwell on that for now. Like it or not, we won. I may have lost Monkey, but 10 of us didn't die. I had been as good as I could hope for when thrust into such a shitty situation. In the end, myself, ox, tiger, bunny, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, rooster, and dog escaped alive. This was a good ending. King of Spades. Alright, if nothing is found in the first 3 rounds but sheep's clothing, Pink will be assigned a role that forces her to act. She's a coward, and if pushed towards it, will try to escape by herself. She doesn't have it in herself to kill, and will instead resort to letting the game mechanics do the work for her. In all likelihood, this plot will be thwarted, and the majority of the cast will be spared. This scenario makes fulfilling the objective particularly challenging. Cleaning up after the fact will be difficult. No, this may be a good enough ending for Mouse, but it won't do it for me. Oh. Ah, it's Pig's note. Oh. I'm really curious to see what you think of Pig on this round. I really like this round. And again, it's 2 in a row. First Rooster, and now Pig, who've really grown on me as characters. And we certainly see how Desperation is a fitting personality for her. And not Rooster. Rooster knew exactly what he was doing. I can sympathize with Pig's lot in life. She was trying to find her way in what is ostensibly a really tough industry to get a foothold in. And had to essentially made a deal with the devil to get any kind of standing. And any kind of standing, any kind of security in her life. And the part that I can sympathize with is when you finally have some security, there's a certain fear that nags at the back of your mind that one day you're going to wake up and it's all gone. I feel like that's part of her, at least part of her motivation, is to not lose what she's gained. That if she doesn't keep doing this, she's going to lose everything. It really is desperation that drove her to do all of this. Really thinking about how distinct each character's route is from the other in terms of setup and execution. I'm gonna say, really, all it was in this case was just quiet time with Pig and Mouse. Where I had a bunch of interesting conversations. And then, yeah, really just personality developing conversations with Pig and Mouse. And I feel like sending Pig to look after Monkey is also part of it. One way or another, leaving Pig on her own maybe just got those thoughts going. Drove her to this. Even if she gets out on her own, she's certainly not going to win. I mean, maybe Brian's satisfied with all the criminals dying, but he'd also have very powerful bit of blackmail to hold over her head to get anything out of her that he wants. So, who knows what sort of life she'd have if she did survive. Let me know what you think. It's really complex character. Ironically in-fitting with the type of moral judgments we were discussing earlier. Should we feel sympathy for people who do horrible things? And I said in some cases it's justified. I should say it's a case-by-case basis, depending on what made them that way. Ironically, it was Mouse who said that. And Pig was more, no, they're evil. And in the end, Pig was the one asking for sympathy. Now this feels like the most thematically fitting route. Pig goes out asking for sympathy, and Mouse goes out refusing, finding her irredeemable. I want to try out, before I end this video, I want to try out those other options quick. So we're going to go back. Let's see. First one was this. Let sleeping dogs lie. It was a morose impulse, one best left unanswered. There's no good reason to expose myself to that sort of sight. To ignore Monkey's earnest request. Time passed without a threat. Okay, and we're done. That's it. We can just not do it. Sent the note. I guess we should bring this to the group. Bunny read the note over my shoulder, nodded his head. I agree. And like that, I returned to the cafeteria and gathered everyone. Then I read out what Pig had written to everybody. Well, everything minus the postscript. After I finished speaking, nobody knew what to say. It's what I thought would happen, but one person made their opinion abundantly clear right away. Fuck that noise! That bitch tries to fucking kill us all, and the moment that fails, she kowtows like a little bitch. Like hell I'm gonna cover for her. Dragon found an unexpected ally in the form of Tiger, who nodded her head. It sounds like another desperate plea for Pig. Very like her. Well, I don't tend to do favors to those who try and kill me and my allies. In addition, she would be asking us to lie to the police about a fairly serious incident. I see no benefit in that. Oh god, stop it, fucking mouse hand. But shouldn't we? Couldn't we at least admit some of the stuff Pig did? She was probably just scared for her life. No one ended up dying, so, no harm, no foul? Just because nobody died, your actions should be forgiven. I think the world would be better if there was a bit more forgiveness around. It is an interesting quandary. If we were to lay out the facts out, as is, Pig would like to be painted as a villain by the media. Perhaps just as much of one as Brian. I mean, the story's just too good. Not to mention she's a semi-relevant online presence. People would eat it up. I, for one, see no sin in a careful omission of facts, if it is to protect one's dignity. Honestly, I harbor no ill will towards Pig. She was dealt an unfortunate hand, played the game the best she could, and knew when to concede with grace. She tried to concede with grace. In a way that also spared her life. I mean, in a way, you could say that was her way of... her last resort to get out. Oh, Jesus, everything is falling off my desk. I am a mess right now, and I apologize. Or am I not a mess? Jesus Christ. It was, in thinking that this concession did come after accepting that she had no way to win the race anymore. She was dealt an unfortunate hand. So you're 95% right. I couldn't just stay silent anymore. What to say? Wow. There's a lot here. Tell the truth. I think we owe the officials the truth of the matter. Get it won't look great for Pig, but she should have thought about that before she did what she tried to do. This is too big a criminal offense for us to try and shield her memory with lies. We need to report what happened. I'm inclined to agree. Telling the police what happened accurately is the correct thing to do. As a police officer, I can get behind that. Sounds like we're gonna tell the truth then. Two-faced little little shit. You were saying the last round how we should... the exact truth can hurt more than help. You were talking shit about bending the truth when you were alone, Bunny. Little two-faced little shit. I guess. Ah, well, if that's what you think is best, I was merely offering my opinion. So our course of action was decided. We ignore Pig's last request and speak of exactly what happened. Just as soon as the conversation had begun, it ended. Oh, eventually Dragon walked over to me. Hey, I know this might seem weird coming from me, but are you okay? Are any of us? True enough. This really fucked me up, I can tell you that much. But you look different. Look like you're thinking again. I'm always thinking. Most people are. Now that's a lie if I ever goddamn heard one. You don't hang out with the right people. Sounds like I hang out with exactly the right people. Oh, the dumb ones are more fun. Anyways, what's this you're thinking about? The note Pig left us. It had a postscript. No? Thank God I found it, or else I fear the note might not have seen the light of day. At the end of the note, there was a P.S. P.S. I leave this last section as an apology to Brian. I don't know what to do with this information, but if there really was something at work about the trial, I figured I should say it. Before my motives changed, when I was really looking into the case, I did my best to follow the money. It's a saying in journalism, follow the money and you see the full story. Now there's a limit to what I could figure out. My position. What I'm about to say isn't based in hard evidence. In fact, I bet at this point it'd be impossible to even find what I'm talking about. I believe this information is solid. This trial confirms it for me. The victim Amadeus Bowen made a lot of hidden transactions, and a lot of them are connected to the people here. With the prosecutor's department that Ox works in, with the police precinct that Bunny works in, with the bar Dog works in, oh. He employed Sheep. He commissioned Snake for art. He's making a business deal with Tiger. It's evidence he gave money to a construction worker and took money from parents of an aspiring actor. This is all happening well up until the October when he was killed. I mean, 90% of these could be mundane. Like with Sheep, it could be just a job. Commissioning Snake for art is just... Well, on the other hand, that could be money laundering. The people who I can't remember having any connection to Amadeus... The only people who I can't remember having any connection to Amadeus Bowen are Mouse, Dragon, and Monkey. I don't know what this means, but... I don't know. I feel I should write it down as well. So? Sounds to me like everyone here is fucking dirty. I admit, it doesn't sound great. Dirty of what? Dirty as something. I think it might be a mistake to connect everyone here together just based on this, though. And for one, this is based on very shaky evidence. Pig's memories of her unproven investigation. More to the point, look at everyone's personalities, their backgrounds. Do you really think they could all be in on anything? But it's like Pig said in the note, the fact that all of us are gathered here has got to be proof of something. Is it? What do you mean? I've been thinking of this for a bit, but how did Brian get his hands on this information? Definitely wasn't old enough to do this sort of investigation when the incident happened. And even now, a high schooler shouldn't be able to get their hands on all this information, especially if it's being buried like Pig claimed. Yeah, well, a high schooler also can't usually set up a fucking death game. We're clearly not dealing with your average kid. The people Pig talked about are all here. That can't mean nothing. Alright then, in that case, why are you here? Huh? If we really were all brought here for good reasons, then what's your connection to any of this? I'm telling you, I don't have any. Really? Really? The only person that even looks somewhat familiar to me is Dog, but I can't place him. Beyond that, I've got nothing. There wasn't much more to say after that. Thinking didn't pause time. And that's that. Wow. I suppose ultimately... Protect Pig. I think we owe Pig at least this much. She was a victim of Brian when you think about it. For her actions under these circumstances to define her, I don't think that's right. I think that's fair. Think about it rationally. Simply not telling everyone that happened really shouldn't matter too much. I'm inclined to agree. Though Pig's actions are hardly relevant to the case, I believe not much would be lost by skimping on those details. As a police officer, I can get behind that. Of course you can, you little shit. It sounds like we're gonna hide the truth then. I should also point out that Ox agreed in both cases too, so... Two-faced little shit, I guess. Y'all are a bunch of pussies. Well, whatever. That's what the group says, guess that's what we're doing. And so our course of action was decided. We'd fulfill Pig's last request and hide the full truth. And it ended. Time passed, we stuck to the plan. No need to deviate, no traitors or complications, just following simple rules. Eventually it was near the end of the final round. I stood in the corner of the cafeteria, thoughts bouncing in my head. There was a lot to think about. Oh, okay, dragon. And we're out. GG. GG, shake my hand. We win. Woo-wee. That was also a really good round. I think that's currently in my top 5. Gosh, that's got to be in my top 5. So that leaves us with 5 more character routes, and then back to the true route. Suppose the next thing I want to do is go free monkey ourselves. I'm going to drop this here so I don't get it. I figure we'll let her free monk. We'll free her ourselves and see if that changes the route. This is still early enough that it might actually change the route somewhat. Might actually put us on someone else's route. And then after that, the next thing we can do is load the route from the weapons cache route, and then hang out with Rooster and Pig. I think that was the last remaining choice from our original poll list. I feel like that's a good plan of action to go into next week's videos. So, this has been Pig's route. It's been a really interesting route. I hope you enjoyed it. That's 2 whopper routes in a row. Good shit. I love it. Until next time. Until then.